Hi, and welcome to Rising Craft. My name is Borris, and this is the first video in a series to help show off and promote the wonderful game Rising World. I'm also making these to provide new people to the game with helpful tips and tutorials. So sit back, buckle up, and let's take a look at this new and exciting game, Rising World. So this is Rising World. This is their menu. It looks pretty sweet. We got clouds floating in the background. They already have some server support in the multiplayer tab here. Currently they're only in version 0.5.7.6 alpha, but they have a lot planned for the future. So I have a lot of hope for this game. It reminds me a ton of Minecraft, but also has some Skyrim-esque elements in there, and it's just a really interesting game that I see as being like the next Minecraft. So in that respect, let's get started. So we're just going to do a single player map for right now, and we'll go new world, and we're going to call this one the sheep world. I don't know why, but you know, sheep, they go by, and that's kind of cool. So let's create world. So I have played this quite a bit, but what I'm hoping to do with this channel is kind of help you guys out with the different controls that it has, and the different tricks and tools that you can use to make your civilizations. So as we get started here, it takes a little bit to load sometimes, but it's really fun. So okay, here we go. It's loaded here, and just like in Minecraft, you have your pickaxe, and they start you off with your pickaxe and your axe. So yeah, it looks pretty sweet. It's got that Skyrim feel. Let's just run up here and survey the land. We'll see what we can make out. Oh wow, we're in the really big forest here, and oh look at that! It's a moose. So yeah, there's creatures in the game. One of them is a moose. There's sheep. There's cows. There's pigs. There are bears, and bears are very hostile. They'll come up, and if they see you, they will charge you. As of right now, I think the best way to escape a bear is just to run, because you run at the same pace as they do, but they will follow you. I even had a friend say that he had one follow him down into a cave once, so which the moose is standing above a cave, so we might go in there and explore a little bit. But obviously the first thing you want to do is chop down a tree, right? Except for in this one we don't chop it down, we don't punch it like in Minecraft. We gotta chop it down. So let's find a tree. We'll just go back down. I wish I could find some flat land for us to experiment with, but unfortunately we'll just hang out by the moose here. And as you can tell, it's still in alpha, so there are some glitches with the game as we see this floating moose. That's pretty awesome. But that's what you gotta expect when you purchase something that's, you know, alpha. But here, this is what's really cool. So we'll go down to the bottom here. Fall damage is quite a bit, so you gotta be careful. Okay, here we go. This is the moment of truth here. If you haven't seen this yet, this is gonna just like blow your mind. You ready? We're gonna just chop this down here. Takes quite a bit on these taller trees. Oh my goodness. The trees fall over. Look at that gloriousness. So we're gonna, and then you take a few more whacks at it down on the ground, and then splits up into the different logs that you can then collect using the action key. So I think that's pretty sweet. It's pretty realistic. It also drops these saplings here, so you can pick up, and you can get rid of the stumps, but it takes a little while to just chop that up, and half the time it's not even really worth it, because you only get one log from it. Here, I'll show you. So see, and then it just falls down and you pick it up. But I think that's pretty epic, that you can chop trees down like that. Wow, there are so many moose, and they're all like sideways. How are they climbing the mountain like that? I wonder if I can do that. Come on, moose! Help me out, moose! Oh, okay. Well, but once you've chopped down a tree, you've collected some lumber, The first thing you're going to want to do is probably craft some torches, or maybe a little camp. So there's a crafting menu. So once you go to the inventory, which default is set to the I key, you want to be able to start crafting stuff, right? This is kind of, it's interesting because their crafting menu is like a tab, but it's not very easily seen. So make sure that you click crafting there, and then this is how every crafting menu is set up. It's really straightforward. You have your general stuff, and then it'll break it down into categories for you. So in this case, you got resources, lights, and crafting stations. So because this is just you and your inventory, there's not too much to work with. But let's go ahead and make some lumber from the logs that we have. It'll tell you how much it makes. So it makes 4 of them for 1 log. So let's we'll use 4 of them there. And then we can go back to lights, and they have wooden torch mounts and torches, which actually take up sticks. So we'll go back to resources. We'll make some sticks. Is that a bear? Is that a bear? Do you see that? Oh no, it's that moose again. Oh, moose, you're tricking me. Sneaky, sneaky. Okay, so we'll go back to crafting here. As you can see, the stuff will then pop in your inventory when you make it. So we'll go to crafting. I think we're making lights, torches. So we'll make, you can also adjust the amount down here. So we'll just make 40 of them to begin with. So I made 40. Oh, wait, I didn't do that right. Oh, we'll make some more sticks. And we'll make some more torches. So yeah, and then when you go back to your inventory, you can see that they've appeared over here. Torches stack in 32s, torch mounts stack in 64s. So depending on the size of objects too, it will depend on how much of it you can carry. That's basics on getting some lighting. Another cool thing is, yeah, when you hold the torch in your hand, wow, you mean it actually lights things up? What? Oh, it's not like in Minecraft where it's this block of light, but it doesn't actually illuminate anything. So that frustration is now gone. This is like Moose Central, man. Like, look at these moose. There's 3 moose over here. So, well, let's head this way a little bit. Oh, good. Okay, so right over here. Oh, we got Mr. Porkers. Mr. Porkers up ahead. We'll take him out, and I'll show you what animals. Right now, currently, there's 2 of them. Currently, pigs and cows are the only ones that give you something. So when you hit him, he'll run away from you. Run away. Come here. Come here, Mr. Porkers. Come here. Okay, so there we go. Once they're down, you'll see them you'll kind of see them change there. And then it'll have the 3 little dots where your cursor is. So if you hit your action button on that, you can make the bodies disappear, but for now we're just going to inventory. They have a certain amount of slots here, so you can take that raw bacon. We can cook that up later, but raw bacon, really good for filling up your food and water, or your food source. Not so much your water, but as you can see down here, we got the food and water meter. And yeah, so you got to keep that up, otherwise you will die. I've done that before, so. Now we can go ahead and hide the body. So you'll see it's like, if you've ever played Crysis, man, like, this is totally the vaporization animation. Like, look at this, right? Fizzle, fizzle. Like, it just goes away. Like, it totally looks like from Crysis. So I really like the look of this game, too. Is just, the lighting is fantastic. The trees, how they fall over. The mountains. Currently, there's only 1 biome, but there's a lot going on in development. I know they're working with biomes and trying to get different types and possibly some more animals and stuff going on. And like I said, flowing water. Could you imagine that? That's going to be amazing. But yeah, currently, so you get bacon and you get, sometimes you can get a rack of ribs from the pigs there. And then from the cows, I'll kill one here. I'm surprised the cows don't defend themselves. Oh, come on. Stupid cow! Stop moving! Wait, where'd he go? I lost him in the bush. Oh, there he is. Oh, come here. Oh, come here. You want to die. You want to die for me. Okay. So we'll just, invince a cow. Holy cow. We'll just, okay, so cows will give you beef. They'll give you, like, a slab of meat. I don't know why he wasn't dying. It's kind of frustrating. And then these trees here, so there's two types of trees. There's those pine trees that I was showing you before, and they'll give you like 7 to 8 logs, I think. And then there's these trees, which I just call them the apple trees because when you chop them down, they sometimes give you apples, which in the tall grass is kind of hard to find. But see, this time they didn't drop any. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh. Oh, it never gets old. Dude, chopping down trees is always just, it's so satisfying now. And then these ones only give you 4 logs, though. And then the saplings, too. Make sure you check the grass for saplings, because that's the only way you're going to get them. They'll fall in the grass, and then you can't really see them that well. So I think I'll just, I'll set up a base camp here. And then I'll show you some of the basics of mining. Just to get you started, get you interested. Although, yeah, I should probably get some food. Hold on. Food in the game. Right now, there's tomatoes, which are these plants here. You can harvest them with a sickle and do, like, farming and stuff. We can get into that later. There's watermelons. Watermelons are probably your best source of food. It's just you got to scavenge for them. Pumpkins don't give you any food, but you can make jack-o'-lanterns, which is kind of cool. Halloween type things, you know. It's pretty neat. And then flowers really don't do you any good, as far as I've known right now. I have not been able to do anything with flowers. But you can collect them, and stick them in a chest or something. We're gonna just make a general shelter here. So let's go ahead and make. Oh, we need 32, so we're almost there. So there we made general grass shelter, and we'll put that down. Oh yes. Okay, so when you're placing something, you can snap it to a grid by pressing G and moving around, and you can see it kind of snap to the grid there. You can see it better when you're building something, but I'll show that later. When you see like this question mark down in the corner, it'll tell you what to press for help. But F1 will give you the general controls and stuff. They recently added that in their most recent update. So it's really helpful because before I was figuring this all out by myself because there's like no videos out there on it, and not much help online other than the forums. So for beginners, really helpful now that they incorporated that in there. So we're gonna go ahead and place this. You can rotate it with arrow keys, and go ahead and right click and hold, or left click and hold, to place the small shelter. And look at that, we have a nice little home to now stay in and sleep in, and it's out of the weather and the elements that don't exist. But we're going to put a campfire out here so we can stay warm, hopefully cook something up. And just like that, we need 9 pieces of stone. So, no, I won't go too much into this, but I just want to show you because it's a really cool feature of the game too. Mining. When you mine, look at this. It doesn't just come out in blocks, and it drops little rocks as you mine along, and it's really cool how the earth just kind of forms and shapes to where you're picking at. So yeah, really neat. Another cool tip is whatever falls, like so those things that fell down there, that animation isn't just an animation, it's actually what you're getting to in your inventory. So like 4 of them just fall. So I just got 4 stones in my inventory. So I have 19 stone. All we need is 9. So let's head back, and we'll build our fireplace, our campfire. So we'll go ahead and craft that, and it'll show up in our inventory here. We're going to go ahead and you can kind of see it. The grass is kind of tall, so we'll just kind of place it over here. And there we go. We got our campfire. We got our camp set up. We can sleep inside there. You can also... Nope. That's not what I wanted to do. I thought you could. Maybe you can't. In tents, you can store stuff in it, but I guess with the grass shelter, they're not going to let you. But yeah, that's basically it. For the basics, chopping down trees and building a nice little shelter. Nighttime's coming up here. So yeah, killing animals. You can cook the meat, placing items. It's all very open, and there's a lot of creative things you can do with this. Maybe later on I'll post a video about building blocks and crafting stations. Oh, I guess I should show you the crafting station real quick here. So when you make the crafting station, this is what really opens up the rest of the items to you. So I'll go over more of them later, but this is the first crafting station. And you can also change, if you didn't like the original color, you can change it and kind of view what the color of it looks like. And these arrows, you'll come to find, provide you with so many options. It's just the endless options are available to you. You can also double click it, see a little bit bigger view of what it looks like. Maybe, look at the grain if you don't like a certain type of grain and you want to pick a different one. Go ahead and do that. But yeah, I've crafted one, and just like everything else, you can rotate it. You can snap it to the grid, and then go ahead and just place it. And this is just like your crafting table in Minecraft. So you can go in here, and it opens up a whole bunch more options for you. More crafting stations, and see all these crafting stations. The block bench is kind of like for building blocks, for making stone bricks and stuff. And that has a whole bunch of options for building materials. Saw bench is like furniture and beds and all that sort of stuff. Window frames. The anvil will be for like metals and making tools and all that stuff. And then smelting furnace. It's really neat. It's not like a furnace in Minecraft. It doesn't have a menu that you go into. It's actually like placing the ingots or placing the ore in those slots. It's really cool. You'll see it in a later video. Loom for making tents and stuff. I'm interested to see where they'll go with that. I know you're supposed to be able to customize your character in the future. Hopefully, that's really cool. And they just recently added the Tier 2 workbench, which has different lighting and stuff. Flashlights, compasses, clocks. Really neat. So, that is Rising World. There's a lot more that we'll dive into later. But this is just a glimpse, touching the surface, so that you can experiment and look around and travel and see the endless environments that are available to you. I apologize for the length of the first video, but there's just so much to explain and share with this game. Rising World has a great foundation, and I'm excited to see what they will be adding in the future. If you like this video, or you want to see more, subscribe. I will also be sharing our server through this channel, and have more in-depth tutorials with friends. So subscribe for more Rising World adventures.